COVID-19. So friends, we have amongst us in the panel, Director Dr. Ajay Kumar Sir, Dr. Arpita Srivastava, Dr. Kirti Datta, Dr. Amit Kumar, and me, Radhika Malhotra. The panel will be dwelling upon the impact of COVID-19 on consumer behavior. We will be discussing on the strategies of the companies to combat COVID-19, the government initiatives and support system. Now, before I take forward the session, just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box in your Zoom panel. I will bring them up at the end of the open forum. So a good news is all the young scholars who are attending this webinar will be felicitated with electronic certificate of participation. So now, setting the momentum of the webinar today, I would just start with saying that as we all are aware of the rapid outbreak of the coronavirus, which has presented an alarming health crisis that the world is grappling with, in addition to the human impact, there is also a significant impact being felt globally in terms of commercial impact. As viruses know no borders, the impacts will continue to spread. In fact, as per the recent report as shared by KPMG, 94% of the Fortune 1000 are already seeing COVID-19 disruptions. Here, I would like to share a few facts with you. Novel coronavirus has infected more than 1.7 million people in 185 countries as reported by BBC, thereby impacting lifestyle, business and economies world over. In the last 2 months, both the market landscape and consumer behavior has altered beyond recognition. And there is clear indication that the e-commerce industry will hit 200 billion US dollars mark much sooner. So friends, as we all know, retail is at an inflection point. Among all the sectors, the sector which contributes 10% of GDP and is of US 950 billion US dollars is also not left untouched. And that is what? It is retail sector. Under this new world order, retail across the diverse categories cannot rely entirely on their offline presence. Even after the lockdowns are called off, they will have to inevitably adjust to the new norms of omni-channel buying. This will become even more relevant for the categories like grocery shopping, personal care products, where previously the propensity to buy online was too low. The evolving COVID-19 situation is complex, and a considered and well-managed response by retailers will have a major bearing on how well they ride the waves. With this, I would humbly request our inspiring and dedicated leader, respected Director Sir, to deliver the introductory address for today's webinar and highlight his credibility and expertise on the subject matter. Please, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Today's webinar is on retailing at the time of COVID-19, and we are here to discuss about consumer behavior at the time of COVID-19, then strategies adopted by companies, as well as government initiatives and support. First of all, I would like to tell all of you, and all of you know also, that while we are talking about the retail industry and we are talking about the strategies, we should also take into account the income pattern of the consumers. So there are 1.5 million people in US, they are jobless now. Same is the case with European countries. In India also, around 2.5 crores workers They don't have any income right now. If we talk about the retail industry, all major retailers, they have shut their door. They are not able to do business. If we talk about the retailing of anything other than essential products, it's more or less insignificant. So challenges are many. Industry. It contributes to 40% of India's consumption and employs 40 to 50 million people. So you can very well understand the size and the dimensions of the business of retailers. Right now, we all are able to consume the essential products only with very restricted buying of any other things. If we talk about the electronic industry, if we talk about any other industry for that matter, other than the regular consumption of food, our purchases are standstill. So the entire economy, entire retail industry, they are not only at the verge of collapse, but they are also not able to cope up during. So it is about one particular industry. But what about other products? Retailing is not limited to only food grains. Retailing is not limited to only vegetables. Retailing has been one of the major business practices, directly or indirectly, both. But if you talk about the industry, it's really in V shape. We have gone down. We are about to reach to the position of zero for the region that fall cross country and across the globe. If you talk about, they are in a big trouble because of the income component. They don't have any income. They don't have any work. They don't have anything to do. If we talk about the retailers also, the group to which we used to call unorganized, they are doing good. They have got the business. They are able to have buyers at their doorstep. Even though restrictions are there in many of the areas, at least they are able to supply the essential products and daily needs products to the buyers. But it's altogether, we are talking about unorganized sector. What about those who used to be the flag bearer of the or torch bearer of the retail industry? They are in trouble and they have already rather sacked many of the employees. They have not sacked because of any XY reason. They have sacked because they don't have any income right now. They don't have any job to provide right now. So, on these circumstances about the industry and its actual position or the challenges and immediate future too. As I told you, it's in V shape. So naturally, if things change after 3rd May, if the economy reopens, then certain level of growth can be seen and retail may reach to boom in another 3 to 4 months if we talk about Indian retail industry. US and Europe remain in trouble for another earning through salary only. They are government employees primarily. Yes, private sector companies are also paying salary to their employees. They are able to support their employees. Work from home system is there, but work from home cannot sustain for long for many of the businesses, especially in manufacturing units. So under these conditions, Radhika, you can
Yes, sir.
start the discussion
Right,
on the
sir.
subject further.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate the introduction, and you are very well right in saying that yes, the challenges are many, both in the organized and the unorganized sector. Whether we talk about FMCG, whether we talk about FMCD, and the service retailing sectors. So, taking forward, now I would request and I would turn over the mic to Professor Dr. Arpita to dwell upon the impact of COVID-19 on consumer behavior patterns. Dr. Arpita. Dr. Arpita, can you hear me?
She needs to unmute her mic.
Dr. Arpita, are you there now?
Me. Saurabh sir to unmute me. Saurabh sir, unmute me. Yes. Okay, fine. It's okay. I think now he has done that previously.
Yeah, it's fine now.
Okay, sir. Fine, fine, fine. So thank you, Professor Radhika, for sharing the dice with me now. Before I share the detail about COVID-19 and the changing pattern of consumer behavior, I would like to share some interesting fact and figures about global Indian retail sector. What I think little bit Professor Radhika has already shared about, but here I would like you to emphasize certain points, everyone to ponder upon. When we talk about global retail sector, it accounts for almost 26 trillion US dollar. And something interesting that 26 trillion US dollar out of 26 trillion US dollar, 22 trillion US dollar is coming through retail physical store. That what we always understood about is brick and mortar. And out of that, 4 trillion US dollars is coming from e-commerce. Or when we talk about vis-a-vis Indian retail sector, we are currently US dollar 950 billion, and we were expecting that by the year to end of the 2020 will reach US dollar 1.1 trillion. The point which I want you all to ponder upon is that this is a prediction made by KPMG before COVID-19. So KPMG clearly says that e-commerce market, which will around $64 billion, will increase to 200 billion by 2024. But I
Dr.
think,
Arpita?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dr. Arpita, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The latest report of KPMG, which came on 28th of this month, says that India will be losing 45% of the market in the retail sector, and the turnover will be very insignificant.
Absolutely.
Because the support system will be for essential items will be from government only.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
So yes, the data which you provided, that was of December, January. Yeah. So that way, yes, it was very correct. Yeah.
The point which I would like to share with the people who are present in the webinar is that that yes, is a pre-COVID. Sir had said it very rightly. This is a data which is provided by KPMG, that is pre-COVID-19, which they clearly says that for the last 2 months there's a drastic change is happening in terms of marketing landscape and changing consumer behavior. So the point which I want you, all of you to ponder upon is that yes, where India's major chunk of the retail business is coming from brick and mortar, but now after, even during COVID-19 and after COVID-19, people will move towards brick and mortar. Is still when the shops will open to a digital platform rather than having access to physical store. So that is a one point which I want to highlight in front of all of you. Before going to the detail of how consumer patterns, buying behavior has been changing, I think all of you who are here in today's webinar, and I think all of us are very much anxious that we all want the vaccine of COVID-19 to be launched as early as possible. We all want to get vaccinated as early as possible, because we want to move into the same time where we are, how we are shopping, how we are behaving, just what we are doing in pre-COVID-19. But I'll tell you, friends, that it is not going to be the same. It is not going to be the same. So if we talk about consumer pattern, I'm going to cover that entire pattern into keep four different aspects into the mind, I think, which can able to make picture more clearer to all of you. First, I'm going to talk about the consumer sentiments. Second, I'll be sharing with you that how consumers are spending. And third, I'll be sharing with you what are the categories where consumer is spending more. And that is it's a prediction that how people will be spending in terms of the different categories in times to come even. Next, I'm going to share about that how people are shopping right now and will shop in future. And if time allows me little bit, if I get some more time, I will put more little bit highlight on the changing e-commerce, e-retailing in India itself. So I'll start with consumer sentiments. I think the very first point to understand the consumer buying behavior is consumer sentiments. Even we as a consumer, we all as a consumer, until unless we are very much convinced about a specific product or a service, we never go and buy. So the very first thing which a marketer want even the consumer to understand is about the basic sentiments. So once again, there's a study by KPMG in April itself, when he's talking about the sentiment of the consumer all over the world in different countries. So here, the study clearly says that if we talk about Asian continent in terms of Indian consumer, yes, the sentiment of Indian consumers are much more optimistic. They are very much positive about that. Yes, in times to come, within the 2 or 3 months, things will settle down, and our economy will accelerate back. But it will take little bit time. So one thing what as a student and even as a consumer or even as a marketer, we should ponder upon is that yes, ray of hope is there. Consumer are optimistic in terms of understanding that things will become better after 3-4 months. But on the other hand, the same report clearly says that consumers spending pattern have been changed. They stopped spending on discretionary item. As Sarat said very rightly, that because of the specific category which is mentioned by Government of India, they are not allowing right now e-commerce company to sell non-essential items. Obviously people are not spending more into that. So one point which I will conclude in that point, that consumer sentiments are positive. So there's a ray of hope for the marketer. They should utilize this time in terms of understanding the consumer buying pattern and devise a strategy. So this is a buffer time which they have got, so that as soon as the things will come back on the track, they need to change the way how they do business earlier. Second point which I want to ponder upon is the consumer spending pattern. How where consumer is spending. 2 or 3 days back, there was a webinar being organized by IMF, in which Mr. Raghuram Rajan is chairing the session. So in which he talked about Indian consumers and their spending pattern. he says something interesting has happened for the last 2 months, where health and hygiene, which was on number third and fourth category, you can say ranking in terms of spending, it is moved to number one. I think you all must have experienced and do agree with me that hand sanitizer from Dettol or hand sanitizer from Lifebuoy is not a new thing what we are seeing during COVID-19. It was already there available in the market. But we as a consumer, I think today we have participants in the webinar, and if I'll ask you, you can introspect and tell that hardly 20 to 30 people must have used hand sanitizer, that too on daily basis, right? So this is that something which is being changing. So health and hygiene has become a first category, or you can say the priority for the Indian consumer to spend that money in this specific, other than talking about the daily grocery items spending right now. So there are basically two categories which are going to emerge, that is survival and sanity. So survival will take care of all the categories which will be talking about daily item, health and hygiene, and sanity will be talking about what sir has already discussed about, that luxury item, that is talking about entertainment, going outside, freaking, buying luxury brand. So this is something sanity. So there's a question which is coming right now in front of the marketer, is that is a time they should focus more on survival items rather than talking about the sanity. One more point what Raghuram Rajanji has discussed in that specific webinar, that the ticket size of the spending, the amount the consumer are spending is going to decrease, is going to drop down. People will be looking forward for the products even in the same category what I talked about, survival, but they will looking forward for the economical brands with quality products. So this is about the spending patterns, how it is being changing. And obviously there's a high acceleration in the digital economy, either if you talk about even moving from PVR to home entertainment, moving to gym to home fitness. So these are the drastic change which is happening in terms of spending part. And one more point which I want to ponder upon, especially for the brands, you've got a very strong brand loyalty, especially I want all of the students to understand this point very well, that the brands who are the master or the leader at this point of time, they can have a loyalty shock, where consumer can shift the brand faster due to certain factors which they have to think and ponder upon, that is the safety and hygiene. So if they think that they were the brand leader, so it's not like that. They need to change their way of doing business if they want to be in the race itself. Third point which I want to share along with all of you is the category of the spending, where consumer are spending, what is the area they are dealing about. I think you all are hearing two words for last 1 month. I think today we are on 22nd, is the lockdown start on 21, is almost 1 month over. So we are hearing two important terms again and again, that is essential categories and non-essential. So government is giving a clear cut understanding upon essential item and non-essential item. So by design, or you can say by default, essential category is increasing. People are buying more instead of non-essential, because yesterday, 2 days back, there's a lot of discussion happening around. Previously, government thought of opening from this thing 20th May, they will open for non-essential category, but and turbulence and uncertainty, consumers are buying, are totally dependent upon fresh cooked food. They are ready to buy vegetables. They are ready to buy even grocery to prepare the food, rather than depending upon ready to cook items. So there's a one category which is declining. There's another category which is also emerging very fast, that is telemedicine. Thanks to company like Liberate in India, which started a venture hardly 3 years back, and we as a consumer are very much reluctant about that. How we as a consumer will rely on telemedicine, but I think there's a high time. And
excuse me, Arpita.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I would like
Yes.
to point here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The sale of retail, this
Sir, your voice is not audible.
So I think there is some network problem. The voice is cracking.
We are not able to listen to you, sir.
Sir, are you there?
We are not able to listen, sir.
Director, sir, are you there?
Sir, nahi hai, Radhika ma'am. I think you need to send a message. To her.
Saurabh, sir, can you just let us know if he has been logged out or something?
yes, Radhika,
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
let you continue because we don't have that much time to have
Okay.
discussion on all these
Okay,
issues.
sir. I'll conclude with two various two cases of leading retailers that what sir already talked about. Leaders like Big Bazaar, where Kishore Biani has never thought of going for online delivery of the product. He is very much sure the kind of offers what he is giving to the customer. He feel like that he was a king of Indian retail, and people will come to the physical store, brick and mortar store, to get that kind of discount. Even in this time during COVID-19, Big Bazaar need to take help of e-commerce platform like Amazon and Flipkart to deliver the products which are lying with the huge amount of inventory which is lying there in the go down. So this is a time where I think they also need to work very hard on that, because in times to come, consumer will change the shopping pattern. There's a last I would like to conclude with the new concept which is going to emerge, that is D2C, direct to consumer. So there's a company, I think you all know, Spencer Retail. They are planning to use the chatbot as a platform for selling their even non-essential items through WhatsApp. So, and it is going to provide the same kind of platform like online payment, or talking about the delivery of the product and certain recommendations also. So this is about the changing consumer buying pattern um, of Indian consumer. And there's a I think I would like to conclude with a small line that tough time never lies, but tough people do. So there's a time, this is a buffer time which is given to the marketers, especially talking about the retailers itself, to introspect and work on the omni channel system, where they can have a combination of both online and offline store, and will should keep two factors in mind, that is health and hygiene, and especially talking about the brand building and reminding the customers about very specifically what they are taking, what steps they
Arpita,
are taking
we'll take
because
it
of
forward now.
COVID-19. Okay, thank you very much.
Right. So as per me, if I talk about, you have very well, talked about the various behavior patterns. Yes, truly, the two major shifts that we'll be seeing in the consumer behavior would be the reluctance to mingle in the crowded public places post lockdown, and the higher propensity of the customers going online, adopting the digital platforms. So here I would just like to tell you that, we have seen a sudden spurge in the IT sector when we talk about, the dongles, we talk about the broadband connectivity, we talk about the data consumption, and then IR packs, international roaming packs. uh, WFH, the work from home, what we are doing today, has again resulted into the boom when we talk about the Microsoft 365 application, Office Teams, wherein we were never ever aware of, the Zoom application, the Google Teams, Google Hangouts. The very idea of shopping has actually changed. The priorities of the customers have changed altogether. So there is one more thing that I would like to add on. the office hours sitting at home, they have turned into shopping hours for essential items. And the weekend spending that we used to do earlier, it has shown a sudden, spending, that bulge has flattened up, wherein the working from home managing efficiently. We people, we have started doing the panic buying, ordering unnecessary stuff, stocking of the essential goods and all that stuff. Okay, and the behavior that we have, seen a change is again in the mode of payment, wherein the advisors from the banks, the regulators are promoting us to use all contactless modes of payment. The contactless, the QR codes, the UPI IDs have witnessed increased adoption in the lockdown period. Payment service providers have also come up with the apps that alert the consumers about merchants who are making use of the UPI codes. So these solutions were not popular earlier, and they have evolved in the last few weeks, if we talk about. Then the airline sector, if we talk about, airline sector is also, joining up hands with the government sector in the supply of food, medical supplies. And, the post-COVID period that we are going to witness, will never witness for the next coming 1.5 years regarding the luxury shopping, lifestyle retail shopping. And we will be constrained to very essential traveling. The non-essential traveling will go off altogether because of the fear of getting infected. The entertainment sector, the recreation sector, when we talk about water parks, we talk about PVRs, Inox, the depression has already gone down. So it will take time, good couple of months in the years to come to gain that boom. Right. So now from here, I would like to now request Dr. Amit to discuss about the strategies that the companies are undertaking to combat COVID-19. Over to Dr. Amit, please.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Radhika. So, as already said, I would be talking about various retail strategies which can be adopted by retailer at this COVID times. Already, respected director sir has already given valuable insights, and much has already been delivered upon by Dr. Arpita on changing consumer behavior. I would like to begin by saying that managing business in times of COVID-19 is a daunting task, and without the clarity about when the pandemic will pass, it is very difficult to plan and return to normal. Meanwhile, stalled economies are causing great hardship in form of altered consumption pattern. It has resulted into entire paradigm shift, especially in retail sector worldwide. Our economy was already on the shaky grounds before the virus struck. It is taking a batric and will require a great deal of management endeavor. Post-pandemic world will not go back to normal. Behavioral changes, including consumer behavior, social interactions, and governance will linger on, and some of the changes may become permanent. Though remote network technologies have been around for 5 decades now, most of the businesses, including retail, favored physical presence. Talking about Indian retail, the Indian retail market is greatly divided up between unorganized sector, as rightly said by Director Sir, which includes about 13.8 million conventional family-run neighborhood stores and organized retail sector with a share less than 10%. The organized sector includes all organized brick and mortar stores and online shopping sites as well. According to online surveys conducted in March and April by Engine Insights, online shopping has increased to 74% since March 13 in response to coronavirus. Yes, economic meltdown due to COVID has hit hard on retail sector as well, but it has come as a boon for e-commerce companies, and more people are preferring buying goods, especially grocery items, vegetables, and other daily needs from online platforms. According to industry insights, e-commerce companies like Flipkart, Amazon, Big Basket, and Grofers have witnessed about 20 to 30% spike in orders. A good percentage of people, that is around 25%, have tried the online shopping for the very first time. Thus, the virus has helped appreciate the remote world technologies and has size for online retail sector. In a race to tap these opportunities, many companies have swiftly ventured or are planning to venture into online retails, especially in grocery segment. For example, Domino's in partnership with ITC has already started delivery of grocery essentials in India. Zomato has also fallen in line for grocery in across 80 cities in India. Other example is Panera Coffee Store in America. Panera's customer in America can now add free grocery to coffee orders, and thanks to launch of Panera Groceries. Other example could be of Uber. That is, Uber has launched Uber Direct and Uber Connect, two projects designated to help customers and businesses manage the last mile delivery of essential goods. The services are currently available in New York, Portugal, Australia, and South Africa. So, having said this, this Corona time has reminded that online capabilities and digitizations are essential for businesses, including retail sector. This disruption has clearly mandated for new strategies for retail sector based on automation and hygiene factor in its value chain to produce competitive advantage. Retails today needs to automate a lot of process across the value chain, and integration into supply chain will require all the partners to make business disruption proof by using technology. And as the community moves beyond the survival mode, the digital adoption momentum is likely to carry forward and become permanent. Now, talking further about various strategies for retails in COVID times. The first thing which I would like to say is retailers will need to be agile in adapting to these new trends, since the prognosis for brands which failed to adapt is not great. Kodak and Nokia could be good case in point. Under this new world order, retailers across diverse categories cannot rely entirely upon offline presence even after the lockdowns are called off. They will have to inevitably adjust to the new norms of online buying. And first in the line could be embracing omni-channel ecosystem as already described by Dr. Arpita, rightly described by Dr. Arpita. Embracing omni-channel could be the way forward. So embracing omni-channel ecosystem, when I say omni-channel, that is omni-channel could be defined as multi-channel sales approach that provides the customer with an integrated customer experience. And this new world order will force every retailer to embrace omni-channel ecosystem and converge the operation of their online and offline stores. Now, talking on the front of inventory management. Inventory practices like just-in-time and lean management practices have proven vulnerable, and the retailers today need to invest in reserve inventories and supplies. And resonating with this, retailers today needs to build a strong network of local vendors. Awareness of all vendors within the supply chain is important today. Even if one has a global operations, it is important to have a network of local vendors, considering the supply chain disruption is severe across nations due to COVID-19. Now, talking about some retail strategies at a micro level in response to COVID-19. The first could be retail stores can resort to allocation of specific pickup hours. So specific pickup hours can be assigned. And Walmart as a company, retail company, has already started this. Consumer over the age of 60, consumer with disabilities, and anyone deemed at high risk can pick up order each day from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. at select pickup stores locations. This move of Walmart to provide a contact-free, safer retail environment for shoppers and employees can be well replicated by other retail stores. Similar initiative has been taken by Smith Stores. They have also launched senior citizen shoppers hours during COVID-19 outbreak. Now moving further, self-service store can be another alternative. COVID-19 has already fostered self-service innovation in China. Some of these are fully automated, unmanned grocery stores. Already started by Alibaba, though it was not very successful, it can be considered as an alternative, as customer will look for touchless shopping experience whenever possible, while keeping the social distancing rules, especially if the wave of pandemic is to occur again. Providing customer with kiosks for self-services. These options could be considered as crucial avenues left, allowing the restaurants to remain in service. Another innovative initiative witnessed in retail sector is self-service takeout pickup lockers. So these are the pickup lockers allocated to customer from where the customer can take their orders. So in late January, Meituan, one of the China's biggest online food ordering and delivery platform, rolled out its contactless delivery service in 184 cities in China. Customer can pick up their orders from the designating smart lockers, avoiding face-to-face contact with the delivery man. Next in the line could be limiting the customer presence in the physical store. In the light of ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, Wegmans has begun reducing customer occupancies, limiting to how many customers can be in a store in a given period of time. That is, they have limited it to 15 to 20% of the total occupancy. Well, Arpita ma'am has already told about some of the relatively permanent, changes, and one of them is the face mask. So, well, considering the fact that face mask would be the relative permanent part of human dressing, installation of face mask vending machines at retail stores could also be considered. As already said, incorporating the hygiene and sanitization factor in the value chain can create source of competitive advantage. The very use of personal protective equipments by those in food services, healthcare, and other high contact industries needs to be adopted to match consumers' increased sensitivities. And in this order, certain initiative can be taken, like
Dr. Amit, I would like
working
you to just fasten up. We have Dr. Kirti waiting in the line.
I will only take more another 5 minutes, not more than that.
Because we have the open forum as well. So I will just request you to wrap up in 3 minutes.
Yes. I will take another 5 minutes only. So various initiative under the hygiene and sanitation strategies could be working on wellness of employees. So keeping track of your employees' health and wellness can foster trust and create infection-free moment of truth for customers. Other hygienic initiatives include customer screening through thermal cameras. Additional hand sanitizer station can be added at entrance and throughout a store. Shopping cart handles can be regularly wiped down with disinfectants. Retailers can ensure paper towels available in bathrooms so that consumer and staff do not need to touch door handles. Now, lastly, talking about what a small brick and mortar retailers can do in COVID times. Some of the do's could be: first, retailer needs to stay informed. That is, taking the pulse of the current landscape and category demand to understand the needs of the customer. Resources such as Google Trends, Google Alerts can help stay up to date on local condition and better understand the customer frame of mind. Second could be click and collect. That is, buy online and pick in store. This can offer the best of both bulk because it allows consumer to purchase item online and immediately collect them from a local brick and mortar retail store. Third could be ensuring online presence in local search engine. Applications like Google's My Business Listing could be useful here as customers rely on local search to explore brick and mortar shopping opportunities. So it's important to keep My Business Listing up to date and optimized by the local shopper. Next could be using Google Shopping Actions. The Shopping Actions program displays retailers product across multiple Google surfaces. For example, Google Assistant, Express, Google.com, which can ultimately increase the amount of revenue generated from both online and in-store shoppers. Other initiatives could involve social media engagement. Social media creates opportunity to engage customer in conversation that encourage both in-store visits and
excuse me.
online store orders.
Yeah,
Dr. Amit,
Promotion on Facebook, especially Facebook's marketplace, Twitter and Instagram can enhance
Radhika, are you
business
listening to me?
opportunities.
yes, sir.
Yeah, we are left with 17 minutes now, so question and answer session has to be there.
Okay.
The subject is very wide. I can also speak for more than 2 hours on this subject.
Right, sir. Right.
So be brief, be very particular about time. Otherwise, this webinar will be of no use. It will be a lecture session.
Right, sir.
Okay,
Right, sir.
so
Right, sir.
I will be moving on to
So
Dr.
be
Keith.
precise. Be precise in illustration also. Be short. I spoke for 3.5 minutes.
Okay.
So be very specific. There are many details. Many details are there. Many details are there on record also. See, yesterday
Right,
I
sir.
had a meeting. I was in a meeting with group meeting where I talked to Biani also, Kishore Biani. I could have given the
Right.
details of those discussions. That was for 45 minutes. So your points were very good, valid also, but be specific and
Right, sir.
conclude your points. Okay.
Okay. So I'll conclude by saying that the digital pace has suddenly increased exponentially, and it is at our doors, knocking down the traditional walls right now, as opposed to what we thought of happening by 2030. Thus, new order will require a paradigm shift strategy from all retail brands. Thank you.
All right. So well said, Dr. Amit. Let's see who will be the leader, survivor, and the laggard in the new world order of retail sector. So moving on to Dr. Kirti, I would request you, ma'am, to kindly throw light on the government strategies, government initiatives, and the support provided by the government for the retail sector again.
Yes, or my laptop.
Yeah, ma'am, are you there?
Yeah, Dr. Kirti is there. I think she will start the session now.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I need to mute.
Yes, Dr. Kirti, any issue?
Dr. Kirti, are you there? Sir, with your permission, can I just make her a call there?
Okay, thank you very much. So
Yeah,
I think I have been unmuted now. So I am audible to all now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Start
Thank you.
immediately.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. So post the lockdown announcement, we all know that only the essential items purchase has been permitted by the government. And if we look at the figures of modern retail trade, only 7 to 8% of modern retail trade is functioning. And if we look at, like the directors shared the numbers with us, that 40 to 50 million people are being employed in retailing. And so if we are looking at only 8% of the retail industry, which is doing essential item sale, So if only 8% of the industry is working, then that means we can safely say that 36 to 46 million people are unemployed right now. So economy is impacted, majority of labor force is unemployed, and economic activity has come to a standstill. So if you look at the implications of government policies, we'll look at it from the point of view of consumers and the retailers. In March, Prime Minister announced the setting up of an economic response team under Finance Minister Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman, and a package of rupees 1.75 lakh crores was released, in which more than rupees 36,659 crores has been transferred using direct benefit transfer in bank accounts of more than 16 lakh beneficiaries. So a lot of incentives was given to the people, and under the various schemes like Mahatma Gandhi National Employment Guarantee Scheme, PM's Matru Vandana Yojana, and various schemes. And currently also Finance Minister is working on the second relief package for sectors that are hard hit, including retail. So if we look at the liquidity, then RBI has announced a 3 months moratorium on loan payments, which could provide rupees 2.1 lakh crore liquidity. And they have also announced targeting repo operations to boost liquidity with banks to the extent of rupees 50,000 crores, with stipulation to invest in NBFCs and 50% of this in small and medium-sized NBFCs. Now, this will help as it is important, as bulk of the Indian workforce works in informal sector, and most of them source their credit from smaller NBFCs. For easing of the fundraising norms, SEBI only yesterday extended the regulatory nod for launching IPO and right issues by 6 months. And for IPO threshold for a minimum subscription requirement for rights issues has been reduced from 90% to 75%. And it has also halved the time requirement on listing shares to 18 months. For rights issue, eligibility requirement of average market capitalization of public shareholding is 100 crores from 250 crores. To further ease the cash flow, Central Board of Direct Taxes has issued over 9,000 crores of tax refunds to 1.4 million taxpayers, which includes corporate startups and MSMEs. Government through the Textile Ministry is in talks with premier institutes like IITs to develop technology for standardized and affordable masks. Like we were discussing, that masks will continue to be used by the consumers. As far as banks are concerned, they are readying debt recast for COVID hit companies, which will let the lenders extend loan tenures without terming them as NPAs. And in April, just now, Ms. Arpana also shared that the government allowed the delivery of non-essential items, but because of lobbying by trade bodies, this was recalled. However, Department of Promotion of Industrial and Internal Trade has asked e-commerce companies to draw up a limited list of products that they consider essential to deliver, as many of the people are working from home, like routers, chargers, laptops, and all these things. And there's also resumption of industrial activity in specific non-containment areas. Now, if we look at the demand for the essential items already shared, which are essential and where the demand has gone up and not gone up. So if you talk about all these demands in the lockdown, companies have to push their through a lot of supply constraints. So the other key challenges that government needs to look at are the supply chain problems, transport issues, and shortage of labor. Now, if we talk about disruption of supply of essential items, then road transport of commodities has been badly hit, and almost 2.5 million trucks among 5 million are off-road, because drivers felt that the whole ecosystem of dhabas, eateries, tire repair shops, and garages are closed. So therefore, they all left for their native places.
Okay,
so to help in
Director sir, we are left with 5 minutes, so should we start with the open forum?
Yes, we should.
Okay.
But Kirti, Dr. Kirti was not able to cover the points.
Yeah, so sir, you tell me if we need to
it is also
2 minutes.
one of the most important components.
Right, so ma'am,
So
then
if
you can
give me 2 minutes. If you give me 2 minutes, I will just conclude. Okay, because in supply chain management, I need to tell how the railways have started up special, delivery vans for delivering all the important essential items, and they have delivered 20,400 tons of consignments during this period. And not only that, within the city as well, the local administration and police were stopping the staff. So what the Department of Promotion of Industrial and Internal Trade has done is that they have set up a control room wherein there is a dedicated telephone line and an email ID, and anyone who's facing any problem in the delivery, they can contact them and it is immediately answered. And the last issue is that of labor. So to counter this issue, government has created heat maps to identify 28,000 spots where migrant workers are concentrated. And they are providing them food and healthcare, and they are currently ideating about how to bridge the gap between laborers and the labor contractors. So, the Labour Ministry is fast-tracking plans to provide social security, including pensions, PF, health insurance, all these to the gig workers. On 19th April, the Home Ministry has issued guidelines for movement of stranded migrant laborers for their work engagement. So they cannot move out of the state, but within the states, if they have to move for their work engagement, they are being allowed, they are being screened, buses are there, and the sanitized buses are there, and through safe social distancing, they are going to their places of work. And all the local authorities will register the laborers which are residing in relief and shelter camps, and the skill mapping will be carried out for suitability of the various kinds of work. So that is another thing that government is doing for the labor. Now going forward, like I've already shared that the second plan is already being worked upon, and hopefully later in the day it was said in the newspaper that they are going to release that. So once that comes, we'll know about the various other initiatives. But the Retail Association of India has suggested that government provide 4 months job support subsidiary at 50% of minimum wages as cash support to encourage retailers to continue employment of staff during extended lockdown and the recovery period post the lockdown is lifted. So that's about how the government is currently
Okay, Kirti, thank you.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Question and answer session is required to get started.
Should
We are having paucity of time.
Right, sir.
So
Right.
immediately you start the question.
Yes, sir, we are left with less than 1 minute. So should I ask the students to re-log in again?
We are left with 1 minute only.
Yes, sir.
No, we have got 6 to 7 minutes.
So it is showing less than a minute. Or
6 to 7 minutes.
all right. Fine. So the question that we are starting with the open forum. So one of the questions that has come from Ashutosh, he would like to ask that what is the future of the employees of Chinese companies which operates in India? Future of employees in Chinese companies. So Dr. Amit could take up this question. Or any of the panel members?
So if you're talking
Most
about
of the employees will be losing the job. Most of the employees will be losing the
right,
of Chinese that is going to. So it will be a sad thing for Indian employee, because most of the employees, as already envisaged and as already communicated by many government agencies, especially our current ruling government, the employees will have to lose the job. But yes, as for the retail, online retail, that will continue.
I think the more focus will go
Right.
back to the Make in India campaigns again, wherein we'll be, emphasizing on the same thing. Okay. The next question comes from Rajveer. He says that if there is increase in the sale of e-commerce sector, then why not a single e-commerce company for internships? The world was turning digital. A new order was already being established, but for all we know, the pace has suddenly increased exponentially. So if a proactive approach is adopted by a retailer, it can open a world of new opportunities, such as pick and collect, pick in store, buy online, deliver to home, send via Gabs delivery options. This new world order will require a paradigm shift in strategy for the brands. Only the agile ones will survive. only the truly based digital omni-channel ones will prosper. So here, I would now like to deliver the vote of thanks, and I extend my heartfelt thanks to the management of DLB IMR, our director, sir, Dr. Ajay Kumar, sir, for providing us this platform to share and deliberate upon such an important topic today on retailing, the IT support team, and the students for giving us the valuable time. It was great talking to each one of you. Thank you and have a nice day.